So the topic that we chose tonight is living a phony life, double life. Looking, each one of us, like rabbis, or when we begin to review the file carefully with magnifying glass, we can't even be priests sometimes, not rabbis. Why? Because according to expectation of Judaism from every Jew, very far from the truth. You know, this lecture can take a year. It's a very long subject. I'm going to try to touch a few highlights. First of all, we see in this generation that they say close to 1 million Baalei Tshuva, Jews who were not religious, and now they are. All over the world, in Israel, in America, in Europe. I don't know, maybe the number are exaggerating. I see myself that I get tons of emails from all over the world. The website is, we have visitors in 94 countries. Every day we have emails from different parts of the world. South Africa, Spain, Argentina, Russia, Libya, Egypt. Hard to believe how it spreads with the internet. And many people want to come close to God. Believe it or not, even Goyim. The Goyim ask, can we get your lectures in Spanish? Can we get it in Russian? This is what the prophet says. Before Mashiach will come, God says, I will make everybody hungry. Not hungry for food. Even though with the way the economy goes, Chas v'shalom, in 1 year people can be hungry for food also. But so far there's still plenty of food. I was in a wedding here in a community 2 weeks ago. In my opinion, $300,000 food minimum that was there in one night. And I'm not exaggerating. You know better than me. I'm not from here. So that food, Baruch Hashem, we still have. For sure. So what's the hunger that God is speaking about? The Torah says, not hunger for food, not thirst for water, hunger to listen and to search for the words of God. The Torah says, remember, this is more than 3,000 years ago. Tehillim, David HaMelech, Psalms, David HaMelech, he wrote, and this is a part of the Bible. We have 24 books in the Tanakh. What's the last one? From Genesis to Shir HaShirim. So in the middle we have Tehillim. David HaMelech writes, it's all in Ruach HaKodesh. Every word in Tehillim, some people think David HaMelech was in a mood to praise Hashem. So he said and say to Hashem how much he loves him. Yeah, it's true. But everything that he wrote, you can see today that it's all the Ruach HaKodesh. There's prophecies there. The Gemara learned from it hundreds of halachot. The laws in Shulchan Aruch, a lot of them comes from Tehillim. So what's the Tehillim says? The Tehillim say, Mishamayim ishkif Hashem. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is viewing the whole world. It's like an analogy, like with binoculars, searching. Ayesh maskil doresh el Hashem, to see if there is an educated Jew that went to Harvard. That's not what it says in Tehillim. Everybody's silent. You bought it. No. Who is maskil in the eyes of Hashem? Someone has a degree. Can be a professor, he can be a brain surgeon, he can be the best lawyer, whatever he is, whatever you admire, name it. Hashem is not impressed from this kind of people, even though they work very hard in college, 7 years and more, and learn and prepare for their masters and whatever it is. Of course, things like this does not impress HaKadosh Baruch Hu. What impressed HaKadosh Baruch Hu? Jew that one day of his life wake up and begin to search. Right there already, before he keeps mitzvot, as soon as he woke up and he start to search, the beginning of the process of his recuperation started. If he dies a minute after, let's say he came to the lecture tonight, we're going to speak with Hashem, with Hashem help, about interesting things about life. But let's say after tonight's lecture, one of you, two of you goes home and sit and think about your life, reviewing your life, you're 20, you're 30, whatever you are. So wait a minute. I lived all my life until this point. Maybe things were wrong. I need to make some adjustment. And Chas v'Shalom, after that, went to Olam Haba, finished. That's it. Didn't even get to improve one of our traits, one of our personality issues. if we don't observe the Sabbath 100%, so maybe we accept it, and now we're going to make some more efforts. Modesty, integrity, being a better wife, being a better husband, and then many examples I can give. Just thinking, not doing, it's already a big achievement. Because the Torah has a concept that constantly repeats itself. What is it? All you have to do, God says to every Jew, open me the size of the needle, and I open you the whole world, everything. You just make the first step. Show me you enter the right path. Count on me that I'll show you the rest of the way, and I do everything for you. Just enter the right path. It's like in a supermarket. You have 20 aisles, and your wife sends you with the list. You're going to spend the whole day over there. If she comes in 2 minutes, she knows everything where it is. Once or twice I went to the supermarket, I cursed the day I was born. What's going on here? Especially the supermarkets today, it's bigger than a soccer field. Where you got to start here, To find the bathroom, it takes an hour. So, you know why the supermarkets become bigger and bigger. The bigger the supermarkets become, it shows people become more rotten. That's an indication of how miserable we are in a spiritual way. In the previous generation, even the millionaires didn't need a supermarket the size of Ocean Parkway. Why? What did they need? Bread, some cheese, milk, the necessity. Today, necessity? What are you talking about? In Africa, they eat better, Rabbi. We need 500 different kinds of cold cuts, 300 different kinds of... How can we live without it? The addiction to material made us develop such kind of lifestyle. So at one point, HaKadosh Baruch Hu got sick and tired of us, of our behaving, all of us with no exception, include myself. And he said, I'm going to start teaching you slowly a lesson, not in one shot. I'm going to start vacuum all the money from your bank account. Slowly. Not in one shot. Why? Because a person can mentally break. If he loses in one shot everything, the Gemara says if 2 people comes to ask for tzedakah, one all his life was poor, and one was wealthy and he became poor, who should you give first? The wealthy. And not only you should give the wealthy, if there were, in the old days it was horses. They didn't have Porsche and Lamborghini. So they had horses. A person had a horse, that's his car. White, Arab, English horse. That's how it was. So a person has a horse and he became poor. So they took away, the bank took away his horse. One Hasid, he bought a Ferrari. The Hasidim, when they become rich, I'm already 25, I didn't see anything. Now he wants to not to lose everything he lost, supposedly. So he buys nice car, nice house. Okay, very good. So he goes to the bank. He comes to the bank, he says, listen, I have a Ferrari, and I need $10,000 loan. So the banker say, you have a Ferrari and you need $10,000 loan? He say, yeah, I'm short of cash right now, don't ask questions. So the guy said, we don't even know you. He say, can you give us collateral? So he say, yeah, well, here is the fee, here is the Ferrari in the parking, here I have the key, I'll come back in 2 months from Europe, I'll give you back the $10,000 cash, you give me back the Ferrari, it's a $700,000 car, the top Ferrari. So the banker say, okay, what do we have to lose? Worst comes to worst, I'll pay the $10,000 to the bank, I'll get the Ferrari, he thinks. The Hasid comes back from Europe after 2 months, he comes to the banker, he say, here is the $10,000, give me back the Ferrari. So he said, I can't believe this. Somebody like you, look at this car. I looked at the car, I almost fainted. You need $10,000 loan? It's fishy. Tell me what's going on here. So he said, no, I don't need $10,000 loan. I have millions of dollars, I need $10,000 loan. So why? He said, where can you find free parking in Manhattan for 2 months? So, yeah, free parking. Imagine every day how much he pays for 2 months. He got a good deal. How much interest he pay on the loan? $10,000. $5 a month, $10 a month, finished. Very good. Going back to the subject. So the supermarket shows how addicted we are to this life. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu slowly bringing us down to what it used to be. We see today that religious people, many of the religious people are religious only from the outside. They're not religious from the inside. They're not. How? I give you a list. Each one of you knows yourself. I do not know each one of you. None of you. You know yourself, right? You know yourself better than I know you. So since I do not know any one of you, I'm not aiming to one of you or hinting to anybody, because I don't know who is tzaddik here, who is not. I don't know anything. But I'm going to start naming what I see every night, whenever I go, what I see on the phone, what I see everywhere I go. And I say again, include myself. Don't think I came as a hero to give you musar, like I'm perfect and I'm teaching you how to be perfect. No. I'm including myself just in it. A lecture is for all of us. So here, let's go one by one and we see if we have these sicknesses. Spiritual sicknesses. First, anger. Anger, no patience. Drives me crazy, this guy. Can't stand his wife. Why did I look at her beauty? If I knew it's going to be like this, I'd rather marry a monkey than this. How many times screaming in religious houses? I just came from a very religious neighborhood. I went to wash my face in a shower. From across the wall, you know how the house is in Brooklyn. I hear the father screaming and one of the boys, what, such a scream. My blood froze. So, anger. Almost everybody is angry. No patience whatsoever for anything. 1 second traffic is willing to kill somebody. No emunah. What is this? What about Hashem? Maybe Hashem moves you to here. He wants you to wait 5 more minutes to save your life. What about all these books? Nobody has patience. Jealousy. 3 different kinds of jealous people. 2 are negative, 1 is positive. How can you be a positive jealous? We'll get to it. What's the worst? Okay, let's start from the middle. What's a jealousy that is negative but it's not the worst? Is somebody that doesn't have, and he has a friend that is very wealthy. So he's praying to Hashem. Imagine, I always say, if we could connect some kind of machine to the people's brain when they pray Shmona Esrei and display what they think about on the wall, the shoes will be empty overnight. Nobody will want to come. Why? 99% of the boxes, the windows on the screen will be Parnasa, money, close the deal for me, don't make me lose. And then there's a little window, I'm praying for my children to be Talmidei Chachamim, Tzadikim. I want my son not to love television and baseball and nonsense. Please purify my children's heart. Make my wife wants to be more modest. Instead of the wig be all the way to the floor, it's going to be all the way to the back. Hashem, help me. Nobody prays for this. What people praying for? Mainly 99% Parnasa, which is a very big mistake. Someone who prays for a lot of money can bury himself alive. Why? Every person has a certain Parnasa that will make him close to Hashem. Some people can get close to Hashem when they become very rich. They're so grateful to God, so they're willing to do now everything to religion. Why? They walk around thinking, Hashem took me from the garbage and made me such a minister. I owe him every second, so he only wants to do good things. It was very good for him to be rich. Other people, they were very nice and learning Torah. As soon as they became rich, they kicked Hashem. They don't need him anymore. Right away, the yarmulke became the size of a quarter. The peos gone. In the beginning, you think it's behind the ears. It's gone. The black hat became a Italiano hat. The suits from $100 from Bagir, it became all these names that they have. What's going on here? No yeshiva. 10:30, you see him in Shachri, in a minyan. 10:30. Already, they're closing the office already. He just showed up to the shul. Why? So you see that the money destroyed him. Destroyed him. Most people, what do you think? Money is good for them or bad for them? If you review what happened to them before and after, you see it was very bad for them, like a curse. In Israel, they made a survey. All the people who won the lottery from the beginning of Israel until today for 50 years, since they have lottery, except 2, all of them, more than 100 names, they showed their picture with an interview. All of them say that it's destroyed their life. Divorce, problem with the kids, gambling, alcoholism. Only 2 say that the money that they made in lottery made their life a lot better and they're much happier people. All the others, Hashem Yerachem. You know? So jealousy, there are 3 different kinds of jealous people. Somebody who doesn't have, he prays to Hashem, help me, give me, give me, give me. He doesn't mind that his friend has also. Give him also. What is it, my problem? No, I'm not jealous with him. But if he has, why don't I have? Right? That's an average jealous guy. Not the worst. There are kind of jealous people. He may have $1 billion cash in his account, and his cousin just made his first deal, $5,000. After 10 years of sweating, finally he closed the deal. He doesn't sleep at night. I can't believe he did it. It bothers him. Or he has a $200,000 car, and one of his friends bought a $20,000 car. It bothers him. And I trust me when I tell you, a lot of people are like this. It's called in Hebrew, tsar ayin. His eye is narrowed. He cannot see other people that they're good. He has good kids, and somebody else has good kids. It bothers him. Why are they also good? This is a complete mental case. No, I'm not joking. It's not a joke. Chole nefesh, 100%. A person like this, how much he has to work hard to get out of it, it's not a joke. And how can you be jealous and Hashem love you? How? When you're jealous with somebody that is smart. Somebody, not somebody who knows all the sizes of the tires of the Ferrari. No. I had one guy came to my house for Shabbat. Everybody talks Divrei Torah. And he doesn't know any Torah. He's 2 weeks Baal Tshuva. 2 Shabbatot he kept. So he wanted to show us that he also know. He gave us a 1-hour speech about all the models of the Ferrari who came out. In that year they changed the tire. They moved the engine from the front to the back because it gives the car more acceleration. I'm thinking to myself, Hashem, save me. Yeah. No. So, knowledge in Torah, it's called Chochmat Sofrim, Kinat Sofrim Tarbe Chochma. If you're jealous with the Chachamim, then automatically you're going to get to their level, if you really care. If you see a Chacham, you say, why am I not like this speaker? Why am I not like this rabbi? Look, every question you ask him, you know the answer. Why? I can also be like this. And you begin. Because you're in a competition with another guy in yeshiva, he became 80 and you became 70. Why you became 70? Because you were jealous with him. Without the jealousy, you wouldn't get even to 30. So that's a very positive jealousy. So let's move on with the list. Egoism. Who can raise his hand and say that he's not 100% egoistic? Which means, I don't care others get. First, I want to be the first one. 2 guys went on a Shabbos meal. 2 friends, they come, one guy, not friends, one guy is very intelligent, educated, and the other one is, gangster from the street. Like they say in Israel, ars. So the ars and the intelligent are sitting together. So there are 2 pieces of, the owner of the house, he served 2 pieces of chicken, one very big, one very small. So they sit now, each one of them has his fork in his hand. And now they're thinking who's going to stick his fork first in a big piece. That's what they're thinking about. So the ars, he doesn't think a lot, the criminal. Right away, he stick it to the big piece and he takes it like a bear, he's hungry. So the intelligent guy say, you're such an arrogant person. So why? What's the problem? He say, why couldn't you think about the other? Why couldn't you take the small piece? So what's the problem? I don't understand. You want the small piece? Here it is. Take it. So anyway, egoism. What's egoism? You look at people like object. What can I get from them? How can he promote me? What can I get out of this guy? Today, there are people who they decide who to invite to the party according to how much benefits I can get from these people. It's all against the Torah. Kadosh Baruch Hu reviewing you all the time. Don't think the Torah is only to keep Shabbat and to work with the yarmulke. A beard is for free, and a yarmulke is for $1. Not anymore. Today it's $5. Inflation. But to be religious from the outside, it's $5. Less than falafel. Oh, here you go. If you want sombrero from Mexico, no, another $100. The outside may fool a lot of us when you think, this guy is this guy is that. Don't be fooled by the outside. The Gemara says that Shimshon was a prophet. In the time of Plishtim, he met a Goya, Delilah. So when Shimshon was born, he was a monk, Nazir. I don't know if monk is the right word, because in Hebrew, Nazir it's something holy. Nazir mi beten. Monk could be a Nazir for Avodah Zarah. I don't like this word so much. But that's okay. You got the point. He's a Nazir. From beten. Holy from birth, before he was born. Something like this you don't find. Usually it's after. And the angel comes to his mother, and the mother said to her husband, Manoach, I saw a very holy man. Very holy man came to tell me that I'm going to be pregnant, and this is a special boy, and this and this and that. So the Gemara says, how did she know it's a holy man? The Gemara asks, what do we learn from the question of the Gemara? Let's see who is clever here. Gemara is the words of divine words. It's not a joke. The Gemara asks a question, this is Jewish philosophy, going to the root of the problem. The Chachamim ask, how did the mother of Shimshon know that the person, she didn't know he's an angel. When the angels comes to us, they look like people. Eliyahu Hanavi comes like a person. All the time. How did the mother of Shimshon told the father Manoach later when he came, I saw a very holy man? How? He didn't tell her from what yeshiva I graduate.
She was pure from her heart. She was really Jewish from her heart.
What? No, what do you say? No, what? That's not what I'm asking. Pay attention. I'm asking why the Gemara asked this question. How did Shimshon's mother know that he's holy? What do you mean how? She saw his beard. His sombrero. From Borough Park, he bought a nice, what's the name of that Italian company? Borsolino. She saw the Borsolino and the beard and the long kilt with 2 buttons in the back. Right away, she thought it's a Rosh Yeshiva. So she told her husband, I saw a holy man came. But you see, the Gemara doesn't agree with this nonsense. If the Gemara thought that there's a rule in the creation that somebody who dressed like this is holy, why the Gemara asked a question, how did she know he's holy? What do you mean? From the beard. The Gemara knew that there's people in India that has exactly the same beard. And tarbush like the Ben Ish Chai.
Did you see the shepherd?
One time, I went to the street in Monsey, and I see a big ad in a grocery store. Mekubal Bal Ha'ir. It's very common in our days. Mekubal Bal Ha'ir. Ma ze Mekubal? A Kabbalist is coming from Israel. If you want to make an appointment, please register, call to get an appointment. Like a special sergeant is coming, so people wants to go. Very nice, no problem. So far everything is fine. So I look at the picture of this Mekubal. I see tefillin, talit, all like the Baba Sali he looks, with nice long beard. And they show his picture, Mekubal you never saw before, for 2 weeks. So now the day arrived. Everyone is waiting for the Mekubal. The day that the Mekubal supposed to come, they changed the picture. They put one picture next to the other. Guess who was this Mekubal? Saddam Hussein. Remember when they caught him, he had a beard like this? Saddam, when they caught him in a pit, he had a long beard. Photoshop. They took away his curly hair. They made the top with tefillin and talit, Mekubal. And everyone was full. People writing names. They want to come get bracha from Saddam. You understand? It's all chitzoni. Chitzoni means in Hebrew external. Nothing from the inside. When David HaMelech needed to be a king, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decided King Shaul is finished. He's finished his job. He sends the prophet Shmuel to the house of Ishai. He comes, he see all these machos are standing, handsome, tall guy, chachamim, everyone. He has a horn, that inside the horn there's a special oil. His job, the prophet, is to spill it on the head of the king. What do we need this? From the minute the oil touched the head of the new king, if you cursed him a second before the oil touched his head, you don't get killed. If you curse him after the oil touches his head, even though he doesn't have the king uniform yet, He did not move into his bedroom in a palace. No, he's still a shepherd. Shepherd cleaning the garbage of the sheep. But the oil touched his head, even if you did not know. You cursed him, you finished. It's called mored b'malchut. So now, the oil does not spill. So he asked Ishai, don't you have another boy? What's going on? Hashem told me the king is right here in this house. Now David HaMelech, Ishai was hiding him. Admoni, red hair, is taking care of the sheep, and there's rumors in the street that David HaMelech is mamzer, chas v'shalom. Mamzer. I don't have time to explain the whole story. Rumors. So he say, yeah, but for sure it's not the king. Don't waste your time. What do you mean? Hashem told me he's right here. Bring him. As soon as David HaMelech walked through the door, the oil, against gravity, he did not need to spill the oil on his head. The oil jumped on his head by the door. Whoop! Right away. So Prophet Shmuel, which by the way was equal like Moshe and Aaron together. That's what Chazal says. You know, it's not a joke. He died 52 years old. In 52 years, the Gemara say he was equal like Moshe and Aaron together. Moshe passed away what age? 120. Aaron what age? 123. How much is together? 243 compared to 52. One person, 52 years. Better than 253 years of 240 years of Kedusha? Chazal, don't argue with Chazal. So what Hashem says to Shmuel, a person can only see to the outside, to the eyes. But Hashem see inside, penetrate inside to see who you are really, who the person is. Let's move on. Laziness. We are living in generation today that a person that his wife left to work, and let's say he days a day off, he can sit 4 hours on his chair debating, should I get up to make myself a cup of tea or I wait until my wife comes? Oh! His daughter passed by. Miriam! Good, you move. Yeah, good, I see you. Can you make me tea? He won't get up. That's why we have, everywhere we go, pizza mezonos. Mezonos. Busha. No pizza is mezonos. It's all amotzi. It's bread, 100% dough. So they write in the ingredients, apple juice. So I once told the person, you're really a fool. You know what begs the use of flour? 100 pounds of flour. They put buckets of water like this, and they take a little glass of orange juice, of apple juice, and spilled inside, where they were able to write in the ingredients apple juice. Nobody feel the apple juice. If you want to make pizza with apple juice, a slice will be $9. You know how expensive is apple juice? You know how much apple juice you have to, in order for you to make dough, plus the pizza would taste like a cracker. It won't taste like bread. Or milk. Spill some milk to make it. No, it's 100%, and you eat, and it's a full meal. So why everywhere you go, birkato mezonot, mezonos? Because the people know who they're dealing with. If you tell them amotzi, they won't come. Why? They don't want to sit 2 more minutes and thank Hashem. It's too hard. Too hard, Rabbi. Don't you have... So why? Sometimes a person comes late at night, he has to eat something he didn't eat. He eats crackers. He suffers. Still cracker. Why? What, is he going to start eating up bread now and making a meal? Laziness. This is laziness about necessity. What about learning Torah? If you learn in yeshivot ever in your life, or you did before and you learn in the future, you will see what I'm telling you about. The people who learns today in this generation, 99% learn only from the outside the Gemara. They don't know the inside of the Gemara. Why? The Gemara has many, many layers. The more you penetrate, the more complicated it becomes. After 1 or 2 movements, it's enough for them. They want to move on. They have one kashya, one question in Rashi that it's hard to understand, maybe 3 minutes they dedicate. Okay, let's move on. When are we going to finish us? 3 minutes they cannot see. The kids, I see the kids today, they wait, they learn Gemara. What do you mean let's move on? You don't understand. How you want to move on? Laziness. Laziness. What else? Modesty problems. Who can raise his hand and say that he's 100% modest? By looking at the people, you know right away how modest they are from 0 to 100, if you know the rules. What's the indications? The way the women are dressed. If they're not religious, then there's nothing to talk about. You don't need to investigate. You see right away. I'm talking about religious girls. How do you know how modest they are? You see how they are. Now, modesty, it's not only the dress. It's the way she walk, the way she talk, the way she get up from the chair, and how much attention she are looking for, and how many phone calls she gets in the middle of the lecture. With what kind of music? No, don't worry, it's not she. It's a joke. So, sometimes you go to places, you have 100 people in a house, who makes the most of the noise? The woman. Why? It's her nature. She wants all the time to be in a highlight. Problems with modesty. But she dressed 100% like a Rebbitzin, maybe. But she's not a modest person. The makeup, the nail polish, everything about her will tell you who she is. What about the guys? How do you know if a guy is a humanizer? You look at his hair. Right away you know anything about him. If he has a lot of hair, blorit, Chazal, I didn't invent the Torah. Chazal say, המתגאה בבלוריתו, someone who is proud about his hair, מביא אסונות על ישראל, bringing tragedies to the nation of Israel. Many years ago I asked a big Chacham, doesn't make sense this Gemara. What is this? Person that likes beautiful hair, he puts tons of gels, 2 hours with a spray, he's a fool. But why does he bring tragedies on the nation of Israel? He's not a murderer. He's not a rapist. He's not a thief. He's not a Mechal Shabbos. What's going on? Guess what's the secret here? That Hashem says to the Jews, you have a head, right? What's inside the head? Your soul. The divine soul. The divine soul is inside the brain, inside the head. I give you a divine spark of God inside your head. Instead of focusing on developing it and making it better, what do? Focusing on what's the outside, all the garbage who comes out. That's what it is. It brings bad luck. It's affecting the parnasah. It's affecting the marriage. I tell you a story, you will love it. One time I had a guy, his name is Ami. Israeli guy, Ami, in real estate. He worked in few different kinds of jobs, hardly made a penny. He got into real estate, he started to make nice amounts of money. So he has a ponytail. Ponytail, yes. He's married already, ponytail. You know, puts gel, you know all these guys that put tons of gel, every time they leave the house, it's a box. They can buy the whole thing. So he comes, I say, Ami, I want to invite you with my wife to me for Shabbos. Sure, why not? I'm honored, very good. Okay. Ami, but I have one little request from you. You know, my kids never saw Chiloni. This story is about 10 years ago. My kids never saw secular Jews. You know, in Muncie, they only see religious people. The only goy they see is the mailman. That's all. They see him from the car, come a second. You come, they see you speak Hebrew, they see you with this ponytail, it's gonna drive them a little bit cuckoo. Cuckoo, you know. Do you mind taking a haircut before you come? Speak to him in a very nice way. Say, are you crazy? Haircut? You know, I mean, here's I grow this cuckoo, this ponytail. But don't worry, Yosef. That's the way he talks. Don't worry, Yosef. I'm going to come with a special hat and I'm going to make an arrangement that the cuckoo will be hidden under the hat. Nobody will know. So, okay, we got a deal. He came to me for Shabbat. This is years after he worshipped Avodah Zarah, this ponytail. I tell him, Ami, somebody who comes to my house for Shabbat with the ponytail cannot live with the ponytail. Do us a favor, let me give you a haircut now. I'll be a barber for you. No, please, no. Arguing for half an hour. Then I saw, that's it, he's about to leave. What do I have to lose? I say, you know what, let's ask Hashem. He got nervous. What do you mean ask Hashem? I say, let's take the Chumash and you repeat after me. We make a special prayer to Hashem, and you open. It's called Goral Achida, Goral Agra. There's 2 ways to do it. You open on the right side of the page, on the top, whatever pasuk comes out. This is what Hashem wants from you, Ami. You agree? Looks at his wife. He said, "Do it." He said, "Okay, you know what? If it's gonna come like this, then I have no more doubts that Hashem wants me to take the ponytail." Now I want to make a deal with you. How many psukim you have in? How many words? How many letters you have in a Torah? How many? 304,805 letters. About 70,000 sentences. 70,000. About 71 or 2, I don't remember the exact number. 70,000 psukim. There's only one pasuk. From 70,000 psukim, I searched my whole computer. That's speaking about something on the neck of a person, to remove it. Only one pasuk. He opened the Chumash, first row on the right. Guess what's the pasuk? והיה כאשר תריד ופרקת עולו מעל צווארך תחיה. Once you're going to remove it and remove it from your neck, you're going to live. His head started to shake. His wife, Ami! Say, Yosef, let's have a haircut. So sometimes you get lucky. How many guys get lucky like this, that Hashem gives them such a message? I want to tell you a story that is even better. One guy, his name is Dave. He came to Or Sameach in Monsey. Dave. Young American guy. Atlanta, from Michigan, from somewhere in America. He comes to Or Sameach. And he's in yeshiva. You know, once you're in yeshiva, it's easy to be religious. Even if you're not a believer, you know, everyone is like this. No, what's the big deal? I sit, I learn, I make Birkat Hamazon, I keep Shabbat, I eat Shulen, no problem. The question is, when you go back to your home, can you keep? Can you be an observant? That's the test. So he comes to the rabbis there. Rabbi, it's too hard for me yeshiva. It's too hard for me yeshiva. I'm going back home, but don't worry, I'm going to stay religious. The rabbis say, hey, only a few weeks here. It's not easy to be religious on the street. You need here to learn, to establish yourself in religion. He said, no, Rabbi, come on, don't worry. One thing has nothing to do with the other. That's what he thinks. If you don't learn Torah, you cannot become a kosher Jew. En am haaretz chasid, Chazal say. If you are an ignorant, there is no way in the world you can be a tzaddik. Remember this rule. No ignorant ever was a tzaddik in the history of the Jewish nation. The only religion that is a crime to be an ignorant is Judaism. There's 80,000 religions and cults in the world. None of them has a rule that if you're ignorant in Quran, you are a big loser. No. If you're ignorant in Christianity, you are a big loser. No. The only one that is a crime to be ignorant is in the Torah, for men and women. Why women? Women are not obligated to learn Torah. Of course they do. 100%. They are not obligated to learn Gemara, Torah Shebe'al Peh, Talmud. But they must know all the laws of Shabbat. That's alone few years. How many years it takes to learn all the scenarios of Muktzeh? If you learn an hour a day Muktzeh, how many years is going to take? Few years. A woman is obligated not to move Muktzeh. So how she's going to know if she doesn't learn? All the laws of worms in a kitchen. A woman can be a rebbitzin and feed her husband 1.5 million worms every meal. Just by giving him broccoli or leathers, green leathers. All these fancy leathers that they serve. Check with a magnifying glass, see how many worms and bugs inside. People don't know the rules. They mean well. Imagine you bring them a ton of pork on a Shabbos table. Rabbi, what are you doing? Eat. Chas v'shalom, I'll die, I won't touch this pork. What are you pretending? You just ate 15 porks like this. Where, Rabbi? Here in these leathers. What are you talking about? Come, I'll show you. You put the light, stick it in, Take a magnifying glass, see how many worms are moving. Put it on a white sheet, see how many green worms coming after 3 hours on a sheet and moving on the white sheet. People do not know the law, they make a lot of mistakes. I'm just giving examples, don't hold me literally. The idea is that ignorance makes us pay the price. So the only religion that is a crime to be ignorant is Torah, Judaism. So the woman has to know the learn of modesty. She has to know the learns of Nida. She has to know how to be a mother, to raise children. She has to know how to be a wife. She has to improve her midot. She has to learn jealousy, anger, laziness, all this musar. She has to know about keeping all these mitzvot, all the laws of berachot. What happened if you leave the house? What happened if you went and came back? What happened if you take copy and you leave the house and you go into your car? Do you have to make another house? Millions of laws. Judaism is not a religion. Judaism is a way of life. From the minute you wake up, how you tie your shoelaces, it starts. Every step is halacha. Every step is Torah. It's not, okay, I'll go to the church once a week to worship some kind of an idol. No. It's a way of life. Torah, what does it mean Torah in Hebrew? Orah, instructions. Orah, oraot, instructions. So Dave, you forgot about Dave already. So Dave, he goes back to his home. 1 week he keeps Shabbat, 2nd week, 3rd week, the Yetzer Hara, lapetach hatat rovetz. The Yetzer Hara way, just open him the window, up, right away, jump in. You know those dogs, they sit by the door, as soon as you open the door, they jump in. So, Dave is sitting on Shabbat, he says, you know, I don't know I'm going to keep Shabbat or not. He's thinking, should I keep Shabbat or not? So Friday in the afternoon, he sits on the couch and he says, Hashem, if you give me a sign, I'll keep Shabbat. If you don't give me a sign between now and Shabbat, I do not keep Shabbat. I need a sign to know that I'm not wasting my time. 8 o'clock in the evening arrive, Shabbat is starting, Dave is sitting with the remote control in his hand. True story, it happens a few months ago. It's a guy from Or Sameach. He's sitting with the remote control. He's thinking, should I turn the television on or not? Shabbat started. Thinking, his conscience still bothers him. So, okay, Hashem, I'll give you a second chance. Until midnight. Tonight, until 12 o'clock. If you give me a sign, I do not mechalel Shabbat. If not, that's it, I'm done with you. 12 o'clock arrive, what do you think? He got a sign? No sign. Now he's about to turn the television on. He says, Hashem, one last chance. Don't say I didn't give you a chance. 3 chances. Between now and another 15 minutes. If by 12:15 you give me a sign, I keep the rest of the Shabbat. If not, I turn the television on. Whatever happened, happened. Don't blame me later, huh? He forgot, Dave, that the Torah says clearly, Lo tenasu et Hashem ka'asher nisitem bamidbar. Do not dare to test me like you did to me in the desert. I'm sick and tired of all the tests you do to me. Rabbi, when I get married, I'll be Shomer Shabbat, I promise you. Now your chances not to get married is 300% higher. Why? You're testing Hashem? If Hashem give me a wife, I'll be religious. What is this? What about the truth? The truth is that you have to be firm, whether you're single, whether you're married, boy, girl, smart, foolish, rich, poor, sick, healthy, everything. No conditions. So Dave is testing Hashem, but Hashem has patience for him. Why? He's a beginner. Hashem wants to give him a push. He wants to give him a push. 12:15, no sign. Dave say, okay, I did what I had to do. Shh. He turns the television on. Friday night after midnight. What happened? The Dave Letterman show. A talk show. The Dave Letterman interviewing a Jewish guy, American, that just came from Israel. As soon as Dave turned the television on, he see Dave Letterman ask the Jew, so, you're just coming back from Israel. Can you tell me something in Hebrew? So he say, Shabbat Shalom, Dave. As soon as Dave turned the television on, the guy say to Dave Letterman, Shabbat Shalom, Dave. No. What do you think? This is enough for Dave for the rest of his life? I promise you, a week later he forgot that sign. How do I know? We had better signs than this. One time, I talk about myself. Everything I say is for myself. Don't get offended. And if you want to learn from my experience, well, very well. If not, one time I called Citibank. To give you an idea, Citibank has 30, at that time, today they're almost bankrupt, but at that time they had more than 30,000 representatives in America. That's before they were in India. Today you call Citibank, chomp, 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 chomp. You don't understand anything. But in the old days it was all American, 30,000 people in America. Texas, Louisiana, here, there, New Jersey. They have a lot of operators. I call up a place. I say, listen, I gave a check to somebody, to some company. It's very important. The check bounced, and I have the money in the account. Why you bounce the check? Usually when they suspect the signature is not good, that's between two individuals. But if you write a check to a bank, to a credit company, they don't suspect that the bank forged your signature. Right. So what's the problem? They bounce the check. The guy checked, I see you right. You really had the money at that time. So I don't know, I have to check what happened in a clearinghouse. 20 minutes until the guy understood what I told him. You know how sometimes it's hard to explain to them? After finally this genius understood what the problem is, and he started to get into the heart of the problem, guess what happened? The phone got disconnected. He put me all out. Now 40 minutes with the guy on the phone, 20 minutes to explain him, 20 minutes he's investigating, cuts off. And I'm in a rush, I'm under pressure, I have to give them an answer why the check, what am I going to do now? I have to start all over again. What can I do? Yesurim. I call up Citibank again after 20 seconds, since I realize I'm disconnected. I call up the place, somebody picks up the phone. I say, I'm sorry, I was just with your representative for 40 minutes. I explained him everything. And after I explained him about the checks, that it bounced, and I had the money in the account, we got disconnected. The guy, he screams to me on the phone, sir, it's me. It's me.
Wow.
Do you understand what just happened here? The guy tells me, he's all shaking on the other line. The guy. First, it took me a few seconds to realize what a miracle just happened here. He told me, you know, the chance that somebody will call again and get the same guy is 1 to 1 billion. It's no chance. We have more than 30,000 representatives. Phones are coming all the time. Sir, it's me. And he keeps going to different states. Every time he calls Citibank, one time he goes to New Jersey, one time to California, one time to Texas. Why I did not become Moshe Rabbeinu after such a nes? En Baal HaNes makir beniso. The Gemara says, the owner of the miracle, somebody that Hashem made him a miracle, the miracle does not make him any better. Interesting. How do we know? Look at the nation of Israel. Just a few days ago they heard God speaking to them from the mountain. 40 days later they make a golden calf. What is this? Normal? Just 40 days ago you heard Hashem saying, Anochi Hashem Elokechem asher hotzeti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, the first commandment. Then Hashem said the second commandment. When he came to say the third one, the Jews went crazy. We read in Parashat Yitro, no, Moshe, you go and speak to him. We can't tolerate this. And Moshe says to them, don't worry, Hashem did not come to harm you. He only is testing you to see if you're going to follow his ways or not. 40 days later, they make a golden calf and make a party. So you see, a miracle like this happened and they still were not convinced. This is after a year of miracles in Egypt. The flags in Egypt. It still wasn't enough. Wasn't enough. You know, people had miracles in Auschwitz. A lot of these Holocaust survivors that came out of Auschwitz, they sit and tell you how many miracles they had and they survived. And in the end they kicked religion and they don't want to hear from God. How can it be? Why? Because they saw other Jews dying. So they saw a lot of horrible things. But what about that Hashem showed you that He's saving you again and again and again? When I lived in Lower East Side, there was one old person with, a number on his arm. His name is Ezra Shulent, Alav Shalom. He's probably dead by now, 12, 13 years already. Every time he saw me in the elevator, young guy, don't ever forget. That's the hello, every day. Get in, and other day, Shabbat, comes to me, don't ever forget. One time I dared to ask him a question. I told him, Rabbi Ezra, tell me your story. He said, you know, how I got saved, it's amazing. He got saved, he came to America, and he married as a Holocaust survivor, and they have kids, and all their kids are big Rabbanim. They have yeshivot in Borough Park, in Williamsburg. That's his story. But the interesting story with him is that one time the guy was about to shoot his head, to blow his head off. And he was trying to shoot, and the gun wasn't shooting. So he kicked him in the head, you know, with the gun. He hit him on the head, he broke his head, and that's it, he left him alone. Then one time he was standing on lines, they're about to shoot him, and they come and say, wait, don't shoot them. One German came, don't shoot them, let me check their fingers. Put all your fingers like this. So they went to all the fingers, they wanted to see who has the shortest and the skinniest fingers to knit baskets. In a factory, they need somebody to knit baskets, straw baskets. So they need very thin fingers. From all the people over there who had the skinniest finger, he was very short, a small person. Rav Ezra Shulent, look him out of the line. I went to Los Angeles over there in the valley a few years ago, and they made me sleep next to the shul. I told them I don't care where to sleep as long as it's right by the shul, that I don't have to walk on the street here on Shabbat. So they said there is this Holocaust survivor right here. Right here, he has a little room for you. Perfect. The guy is 91 years old. 91, Cohen also, Cohen. We sit in Shabbat, now he's telling me the story. He say, we were standing on a line, 300 Jews, to get food. Everyone has a plate, standing on a huge line, they give from the bowl. Pitom, one German comes and say, you and you. He points at me and the one next to me. Come with me. We go, he takes us to a bridge. There was a bridge, there was a lake, river, and there's a bridge above it. And there was a ladder, a wood ladder that goes all the way down from the bridge to the ground. You know, like a ladder that people can climb from the side. And the ladder is shaking, so you need to tie it, the screws. So he says, I don't have now time to go get another ladder. I want you, the big guy, and this guy is an average guy, but this guy is very, very nice, muscular. So he told the other guy, you hold him from his legs, you pull him up, and I want him to tie the knots there. So we're walking there, it's about 100 yards away, like 300 feet from the place where all the Jews were standing on line. Just when we got there, my friend is holding me like this. His legs is in the water and he's holding me like this. Airplanes of the American army came. They thought all these Jews are Germans. They bombed all the 300 Jews. They killed all of them. Just a minute after he took him and him. How can you think there's no Ashgacha? Of course there's Ashgacha. Just took him out. You know, speaking about Holocaust, I can give you hundreds of stories. But one story is really worth $1 million. After the Americans and the Russians came to liberate the camps, one American soldier, his name is Winiger. Winiger, that's his name, a Jewish name. American Jew in the American army. Winiger comes, he sees a 12 years old boy, Jew, survivor, very, very skinny, runs in a forest. The soldier follows him with a gun, and he gets to a tree. He sees that the Jew is digging under the tree, digging with his fingers. The soldier was afraid maybe he's pulling up a gun or something, so he was nervous. Just when he saw that he takes out a menorah, Hanukkah menorah, he cleans the dust from the Hanukkah menorah. And you see, the soldier told him, I'm also a Jew. Don't be afraid, I'm not going to hurt you. So the boy said, listen, this is the only thing I have left for my family. They killed my family. They took my mother away. I don't know what ever happened with her, but they killed my father in front of my eyes, the boy says. And I have no home to return, nothing. I'm living here in the forest. There's nothing I can do. So the American Jew felt very bad for him. What is he going to do with him? He said, okay, don't worry, I'll take you with me to New York. You can live by me until you grow up. We'll get you a school. Don't worry. You see, he's crying, the boy. So he said, okay, you come with me to New York. He brought him to New York with this menorah. This menorah, apparently, it's 200 years old menorah that went from generation to generation in his family. Beautiful, antique, by a special designer. Worth a lot. He gets to New York. He lives by Mr. Winiger. He puts the menorah by the window. Hanukkah arrives. We are now a week before Hanukkah. He puts the menorah by the window. The boy is very happy. Finally, he has some kind of connection to his mother, to his father. 2 days after Hanukkah started, somebody knocked on the door. The boy is in a room. Mr. Winiger opened the door. Yes. Sir, I'm very sorry that I'm bothering you. I was walking by and I couldn't help for seeing this beautiful menorah you have in a window, and it looks very familiar to me. I'm from Germany. See, Yiddish accent. Do you mind if I take a look at the menorah? She said. Come in, no problem. She comes in, starting to hold the menorah and crying, shaking like this. What happened, ma'am? You okay? No. We had this menorah in Germany. It's very rare to get this menorah. There's only few in the world like this. I'm almost sure that it was my menorah. A minute after, the boy doesn't know what's going on. He comes out of the room, he screams, Mommy! He found his mother. Now think about it. Let's go back, reverse, and analyze the story in the right way. If the boy was greedy, or the most important part of the story I forgot to say, that the Vinegar has a friend that works in an art museum from New York. He came, he saw the menorah, he went crazy. He said, I'm giving you a check from the museum tomorrow, $50,000 for this menorah. This is like $2 million today. This is 60 years ago. $50,000 you would buy 2 houses in New York 60 years ago. I'm giving you 12 years old boy, no family, nothing, no English, no nothing. How many kids will say, no, I'm not giving up the memory of my mother and father for money? How many kids in this generation we have like this? The boy say, I'm sorry, this is the only thing I left for my family, I can't sell it. We have it in our family for 200 years. The guy is begging him, the museum, he doesn't care, more money, less money. Thanks to this, Hashem say, you know what, you deserve to get your mother back. Sometimes a person does something, is korea at gzar adin. There is a decree on him. Decree. It's sealed by HaKadosh Baruch Hu. A person did something, boom, everything turns around. Hashem said, hold it, change in a plan. Get everything, rewind back to the movie, let's do it differently. Everything changes. It's like in a GPS, free choice. You drive in a highway, the GPS say, exit on the right. Exit on the right. So, you were thinking about your problems, the stocks went down today, no customer went into retail, gas prices went down, all kinds of problems in your mind. You forgot to get exit on the right. Oh! Heavy, massive traffic. Now you're stuck. If you get off, 2 minutes later you'll be home, air conditioned, steak is ready. Now you're stuck. Well, you have to go all the way 5 miles to make a U-turn, come back 5 miles on the other side of the highway, massive traffic, an hour and a half, you're stuck now. Happens to me a lot, these things. I'm talking from experience. You know, you bang your head to the wheel, what a fool. Anyway, so now, once you did not get off on the highway, what happened? What happened to the GPS? Recalculating. Your entire future is different than before. Everything is different. For instance, they gave you an opportunity to get 2 different jobs. One job is in Borough Park, in a religious neighborhood, $50,000 a year. One job in Sodom and Gomorrah, which is East Village or San Francisco or Las Vegas, you choose it. Sdom VeAmora, $70,000 a year. Test, no? 50, 70, Rabbi. The extra 20, I can afford an infinity, Rabbi. I'm only 22 years old. Yeah, you get an infinity and the way to Gehenna will be express with this infinity. No problem. No problem. Take the job. That's a choice, right? If the person chose, I'm just giving example. Of course, don't understand that a job in Borough Park is necessarily will be holier than a job there. I'm just giving an example. If he chooses the job in Borough Park and he's giving up $20,000, everything in his life from now on is going to be different. First, he's going to be in religious environment. He become more firm. They're offering him a better shidduch. He marry a much better girl. He has great children. He sends them to good yeshivot. He gets promoted. Oh, after 4 years, he looks back. Wow, what a great choice. He'll take the job in Las Vegas. Why? What happened to him? One thing leads to another. The same thing with this boy. One choice the boy made, his entire future changed. Now he has his mother. Now he can go back with her. It's a different life. It's a chain reaction. He's not going to grow up the same way with Mr. Winiger like he grew up with his own mother, no? It's affecting his mentality. He's going to become a better person, better husband, a great husband. You know, there's everything, one thing leads to another. So you see one choice, how much responsibility. One choice, I give you a story that is even better than these two. This one you'll never forget. Mr. Goldstein and Mr. Schechter sitting on a plane from London to Tel Aviv. One is religious, one is anti-religious. The anti-religious is a Holocaust survivor. His name is Maurice Schechter. All the stories that I say, it's always true stories from the life. I don't like fiction. Only stories that happen with names. I like to say names. If you want the sources, I show you where it's saved. Those stories. Okay? So Maurice Schechter is sitting next to Goldstein, a religious guy, from London to Tel Aviv. You know, a religious guy and a non-religious guy sits in a plane. What happened? One time I was sitting on a plane. I started to talk to one guy. Then the neighbor started to listen. Then another girl came and started to listen. After an hour, I found myself giving a lecture to the entire El Al plane. You should see what happened over there. I'm sitting in a plane or standing. And everyone is standing in the aisles, and the guys go crazy. Sir, we have to go sit. You're blocking, we have to move. The entire 10-hour seminar in the plane. Some of them were Syrian girls from Brooklyn. Syrian girls, Esther, and another one, I don't remember the last name. Syrian girls coming back from Israel in the summer. Mamash, I said to Hashem, it's a nice thing. Instead of suffering on a plane, it's like 10 lectures on the way. So Maurice is trying, the Goldstein is trying to get Maurice to become more religious. But Maurice is saying to him, leave me alone, I'm done with Hashem, I'm done with him, that's it. Why are you so angry, he says. Yeah, in front of my eyes, they took my son away. 35 years, he was a little baby. That's it, I can never find him, they killed my son. You want me to love Hashem? Come on, leave me alone. No matter what he was trying to do, it did not work. Finally, in the end, they arrived to Israel. And they say goodbye. Right away, everyone ran to catch a cab. Where does he go, Mr. Goldstein? He goes to King David Hotel in Jerusalem. It's a very fancy hotel, the fanciest in Israel. And once a year, he likes to go there for Rosh Hashanah and Kippur. Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. Why? They bring a beautiful cantor like a Chazan, Ashkenazi, you know, with his opera voice. They get the best Chazanim. Every year is a different Chazan, but the best. They get a real good Chazan. They pay a lot of money. And it costs a lot of money to participate in those 2 weeks. He's a wealthy guy. Right here. Thank you. Yeah. No, it's okay. Thank you. You just reminded me that I forgot to drink. So, Goldstein is a wealthy guy, Maurice is a wealthy guy, but each one has a different ashkafa in their life. So guess what happened? They say goodbye, A minute after, Mr. Goldstein is eating his heart. Why? Why I didn't write his number down? We go back to London, I'll be in touch with him. Okay, Yom Kippur arrived. In Yom Kippur they daven all day, but they have an hour break between Musaf and Mincha. What the Ashkenazim do in Yom Kippur, they make a special prayer for the neshamot, for the souls. Iskor they have. El Malei Rachamim, they have a special prayer. The Ashkenazim. Goldstein, Baruch Hashem, doesn't have any deceased people in his family. So I said, it's a good opportunity. I walk around a little bit, breathe some fresh air. He walks a few blocks, walking around the street, he has an hour time. Who does he see sitting on a bench, eating a sandwich? In Israel, in Yom Kippur, think about such a thing more than 20 years ago. Nobody dared to do such a thing. Today Israel is full of goyim, Mizera Amalek. They brought 800,000 Amalekim to Israel from Russia. So they eat pork in Yom Kippur. What do you expect from them? They are descendants of Amalek. But in the old days, that's before they came. Maurice Schechter eating sandwich in Yerushalayim. What a brave guy. He screams to him, Maurice, how do you eat a sandwich on Yom Kippur? Leave me alone, you again. What, you following me? No, I'm here in King David Hotel. I just took a walk and I see you. I'm so happy I saw you. So he tells him, Maurice, come to the synagogue. It's Yom Kippur today. He said, no, I don't believe in these things. He said, listen, Maurice, you told me about your son that died, Pinchas, right? Why don't you come make a special prayer for your son? They're making a special prayer for the souls. What do you have to lose? Get rid of this sandwich. Come with me. 10 minutes, come. He's thinking, yes, no. So, okay, I'll come 10 minutes. He throws the sandwich away. He comes to the shul. Shul is in a hotel. He comes in. Everybody stand around the chazan. Ploni ben Ploni, Plonit bat Ploni. You know how it is in a shul. So he comes in, he's dressed not like Yom Kippur, but he comes and say, please make a beracha, mi sheberach, leilui nishmat, Pinchas ben Moshe. Maurice is Moshe. Pinchas ben Moshe. The Chazan look at him, he say, Pinchas ben Moshe what? Since when the Chazan asked the last name? Pinchas ben Moshe. Pinchas ben Moshe what? He asked him. He says, Schechter. He screams, Abba! In front of 500 people. Since he's a baby, they never saw him. 35 years I'm looking for you. His son is the biggest chazan in the world. Tzaddik. Koreh Batorah, blowing the shofar, everything. And his father eating sandwich few blocks away in Yom Kippur. Now, what do we learn from this story? What do we learn? Just think if this Maurice would say, no, I'm not coming to the shul. He would live another 30 years like a dog with misery for 1 minute decision. 1 minute decision. That is understanding the responsibility of every choice that we make. 1 minute decision. Everything turns around. 1 minute. He said, leave me alone, iskor, neshamot, I don't care, I don't believe. Finished. Said, okay, no problem. You don't want to come say for your son? So let's conclude. We started with the topic that we wanted to speak about. We are full of negative things. Full. We are, like I said, I gave the whole list. I did not even mention 1% of the problems we have. We have problems with faith, problems with confidence in God. We are not honest in a business. Being honest in a business doesn't only mean not to steal. It means when a customer asks you, is the tuna is from today? If you own a bagel store, you have to say, no, it's from 1 week ago. 1 week ago? No, thank you, I'm not interested. So then after 15 customer comes in and you tell them, for 1 week I've been mixing the tuna. Every time it gets dry, I mix it. But it's still good. Nobody will buy from you. You're right. So why are you telling me to be honest? You want me to starve? The reason you talk like this is because you're ignorant. I don't want to say a moron, but an ignorant. Why ignorant? Do you really believe that your parnasa comes from this bagel store? You're really such a fool? Where were you when Hashem gave us the Torah? 304,805 of letters. Hundreds of times Hashem teach us about the secret of the Parnassah. The business is only efforts, ishtadlut. I want you to do something. The rest is nothing to do with the business. I decide on Rosh Hashanah how much I want you to make net. That's it. Sometimes people say, Rabbi, I'm going to go be a Rabbi. They pay me $40,000 a year. I have 7 children, mortgage, car, this. I need 100. How am I going to take this job? There's no chance, right? Theoretically, there's no chance to survive. It's depends who you are. You have emunah in Hashem before you realize this father of one kid say, can you teach my son tutoring on the side? Oh, another 20,000 a year. Can you do this? You get a job. You teach people how to learn. Bar mitzvah. Next thing you're richer than the Rosh Yeshiva. If Hashem wants. Hashem doesn't want, nothing will help you. One guy came to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. He has yeshiva in Bnei Brak. The yeshiva is collapsing. If he doesn't go to America and bring $50,000 in 2 weeks, that's it. He has to close the yeshiva. Come to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, say, I do not know how to collect money, Rabbi. And now I have to go to a country I never been there before. Please help me, give me a beracha that Hashem's going to help me. I'm going to get to that place. People will give me $50,000 in 2 weeks. If not, I'm finished. The rabbi gave him a beracha and he sends him to America. The guy, the poor rabbi, comes to America. I don't have to tell you the abuse that this rabbi takes when they come to America. Again, how many times you come, you guys? 6 people came before you here. You lechinam, you this, you that. Why don't you go to work? Why don't you go to the army? All this baloney that we are already, the head is pounding from all this nonsense. All these people who think that they're doing a favor to the rabbis by giving them money, they live in a dream. Giving money to a chacham is the best favor you do for yourself, not for him. He will get what Hashem wants him to get with or without you. It's an opportunity to buy a stock that's worth $1 billion for a penny. Why? Now if you help him, every mitzvah he does, you have a share in it. For $100, for $500. If you make discs, CDs, you give them out for free, like we give every lecture, every day, shipping to all over the world. People sponsor it, $1 each. $1 each, DVD with printing, with case, everything. If people sponsor it, how many Jews already over the years became religious from these CDs? I cannot count the amount of emails I have. I'll sit with you from now until next month. One email after the other. You cry. You won't be able to survive from how many tears of excitement you're going to have from the email list I have. You won't be able what you see. People from places you never believe. Turkey, Istanbul, Shomer Shabbos, Put Yamaka, in countries you never believe. In Pennsylvania, not one Jew in town, a husband and wife, fully religious. They moved to Siberia now. Left America, become fully religious. You'd see the pictures of the guy before, how he looked with his hair and everything. You give to others, you are actually earning to yourself. So this Chacham comes to America. After 2 weeks, he did not collect the amount of the ticket. The ticket is about 1,000 and change. Even the ticket he did not collect, because he doesn't know how to talk, he's shy. He comes back to Israel, he's crushed. Crushed! Goes to his yeshiva, he cries to the guys, what do I left my family 2 weeks, I came, knocked on doors, I didn't know what to do, I tried my best. Few days after, somebody comes and gives him an envelope. Rav Chaim Kanievsky sent you this envelope. How much is going to be? $50 inside? He opened up the envelope, a check for $50,000. From where? A guy in Bnei Brak, 1 block away. The yeshiva is here, Rav Chaim Kanievsky is here, 1 block away. One rich guy made a deal, export, import, that's his 10% from the deal. Comes to Rav Chaim Kanievsky, gives him an open check. Rav Chaim Kanievsky, remember 2 weeks ago this rabbi came to me and he went to America. He writes to him what he needs, not the yeshiva not to be closed, $50,000. He calls him up. He sends him a messenger, he gives him the check. What do you think he does now? He takes the check, he runs, he's not a young guy, he runs to Rav Chaim Kanievsky. Rabbi, what's going on here? I went all the way to the mountains of Edom, the Arei HaChoshech over there. I got abused for 2 weeks. In the end, I didn't collect $1,000. In the end, my salvation came from across the street. Why didn't I trust Hashem? Rav Chaim Kanievsky told him, no. The only reason you got the money here is because you showed Hashem how much you care about your student, your yeshiva, and the Torah. After Hashem showed that you're willing to sleep on a mattress, on the floor, and go here and knock on doors, and people abuse you, and you miss your children, you cannot learn with them, your wife is waiting, and all the headache and the pressure, and sitting in a plane like a sardine. After Hashem saw what you're willing to do for the Torah, He gave you the money right across the street. But if you wouldn't go to America, you wouldn't get this money from across the street. All we have to do is to show Hashem that we really care. The rest is not in our hand. And I would like to finish one last thing. So how do we live a real decent life without faking all the time? Faking. It's all fake. All the things is fake. You go to the religious wedding. Who in the world needs to spend $400,000, $500,000 in a wedding? With all the respect to any community. Ashkenazi, Sfaradi, all over the world. Who? Especially when there's thousands of children, Jewish, going to sleep hungry every night. The yeshivot have nothing to eat. They eat sometimes bread the whole month. So many families are collapsing. So many orphans, so many things. And the guy, my daughter, all our life we're waiting for this moment. Why you have to spend $500,000 on a wedding? You cannot make it a normal $50,000 nice wedding? Why does it have to be $500,000? Because all the other community does? How can I not cry? I'm serious, no. Where does it come from? From the Goyim. Where in the history the Jews care about this nonsense? Where? It's all copying the Goyim. Mozart in a chuppah. Tam, tam, ta, tam. What's going on? Chachamim, the Rabbanim, comes with their sombrero standing over there, bow tie, all this show off. What is this? What is all this fake life? And you know what's happening to the rabbis? I'm not blaming them. I understand them 100%. The rabbis became puppets. They're afraid to open their mouth. If the rabbis say, no, don't do it like this. Make it simple. Make it humble. Don't come to the shul with the car on Shabbat. Don't come with a mini skirt on Shabbat to give us a fashion show in the middle of the synagogue. What's going to happen to the rabbi? They kick him out of the window. So the rabbi think, what do I gain by telling them that what they do, it's a horrible sin every day? What do I get? They throw me out. They bring somebody Rasha much worse than me. Then he's going to allow them to bring pork to Kiddush to eat. At least I do something, right? That's what he thinks. Besides the $300,000 a year salary that he gets, what is he going to do? They kick him out. How is he going to send his kids to yeshivot? I have responsibilities, Chacham. If I'm going to talk too much, they throw me out of here. What is going to be with my children? What yeshiva they're going to go to? How will I be able to afford to give them education of Torah? It's a chain reaction. Rabbi Kramer in Vilna, Rabbi Kramer was a very humble person, but a very big Chacham. They called him to be the rabbi in Vilna in one place. He sends them a letter. This is 100 years ago, the story. I'm only coming to be your rabbi in one condition. That you do not pay me a penny. I don't want salary. I don't want tips. I don't want anything from you. Only I want to give you, not to take from you. Imagine you send a Chacham such an invitation to come be the chief rabbi of the community, and he sends you such a letter. You won't take him. Today you won't take him. You're going to say something is crazy about this guy. Forget it, it's crazy. Why are you wasting time calling him? He wants to come to work for free for the community. It happened to me once. I went to one very important American organization to supposedly do kiruv. That's what they claim. I know they do nothing. But besides the point, I'm not telling you names, so it's not Lashon Hara. You don't know which one we're talking about. So I went there. That was in my better days, that I had some money on the side. So they wanted to give me a salary. Hundreds of dollars per lecture. So I told him, no, I don't have. Baruch Hashem, I have income, covers my expenses. I don't want to accept salary for the lectures. No, you have to take. So what do you mean you have to take? So if I don't give you, I have problems with my other speakers. I don't know what went through this guy's mind. He didn't want to hire me because I don't want to take money. The Apple, instead of telling me, oh, very good, I wish all my speakers will want to work for free. Then in the end, when I didn't have money and I needed to pay urgent bills, I told him, now I'm willing to accept. I went to him, no, now he doesn't want. Everything the opposite. Whatever. So Rabbi Kramer wants to come for free. He comes to town, he has a little money, he tells his wife, open a small grocery. Small grocery. We finish in 2 minutes. Small grocery. After 3 months that he's the rabbi there, everyone loves him, he's a humble person. Toho kevaro. Not only the outside is holy, the inside is holy. That's important. Everybody loves him. Then he started to realize that his life is very convenient. All of a sudden the bread is fresh, they have some more meat, better fish on Shabbat. All of a sudden his wife bought something to wear. So he asked his wife, how are we doing so well? She said, I tell you, I opened that little grocery store, everyone in town coming to me to buy. I'm flooded with business. Right away he realized what's going on here. Since he told them that he doesn't want to take anything from them and they cannot give him a salary, they were very grateful to him. So they decided everyone will go and shop in the store. Like this, the rabbi will make a living. But he realized that. If it would happen to us today, we say, okay, I did what I had to do, Hashem. You see, I didn't want a salary. And you sending me the money, thank you, Hashem. Okay, very good. No. He said to his wife, make sure now, let's sit and write all our expenses every week. What do we need to survive every week? He calculated what they need. 100 years ago, there was no electric. Life was very simple. She said, this is what we need. He said, make sure you open the store Sunday morning. Once you get to this amount of profit, Sunday, Monday, you get it, close the store, put a sign, I will reopen next Sunday. Don't keep the store open. She said, what happened to you? Why not? Why it's a sin to be rich? So you don't get it, huh? All this money that comes to us was the parnasah of the other grocery stores in town. Since we came, everybody comes to us, they're dying. I do not want to benefit from other Jews suffering. Agony. I don't want this kind of money. 2 days she worked, she had enough money, they put a sign, they had no choice, they went to the other grocery store. You understand? No, that's a Jew. That's a rabbi. That's a kosher person. Something like this, if he gives you a beracha, you know for sure it's going to happen. For sure. Today the world is different. So, living in double life, pretending I'm religious and watching things on the internet, pretending I'm religious and cheating in a business. Rabbi, it's goyim, Rabbi. What's the problem? It's a worse avera to steal from the goyim. Because it's stealing and also chilul Hashem. Big problem. Very big problem. And you see what happened when they catch the Jews and bring them with handcuffs. What a bushot we have. A million years it will take us to erase the shame. And many other things. In the end we always lose. Always lose. We think it's a shortcut. No. We got to go down to earth. Stop with this fleshy life. What kind of press you bought? Gucci? Nah, it's out of style already. Religious woman. Come on, let's be serious. Why are we lying to ourselves? If you go to buy a $10,000 suit, you can call yourself a religious guy. Buy a nice suit, few $100s. Nobody will know the difference. Give the rest to the yeshiva. You'll make yourself another billion mitzvot to your account in 1 second. No, he won't do it. He won't do it. You understand? This is what's going on here. Somebody come knocks on his door, help me, I'm dying, my children are freezing, we cannot put the heat. Tomorrow he's going to spend $30,000 on clothing. we have one woman that gives clothing. She buys so much, she's sick. She's buying so much, she doesn't get to wear it. She gives it with the tag. With the tag. 1,000, 800, everything. Every garment, 800, 1,800, 1,200. She buys it, she doesn't wear it. Guess what we do? We give it to the poor people. They go back to the store, return it. They leave 2 weeks of the money that she buys. Mental. If you ask her, give us money to the poor people, no, I need to buy another Gucci suit. I don't know, Armani, whatever. She won't give you the money. But she wants to buy so much, she just have X amount of days to wear it. Go to her closet, 500 kinds of pairs of shoes. That's women's sicknesses in general. Shoes. Everywhere you go, you cannot walk into the closet, shoes. One time I went to put mezuzot in a house in Riverdale with another assistant. From morning to night, we banging mezuzot and I do not finish. I have to move here to put the mezuzot. Everywhere you go, another door and another 80 mezuzot we put in one house. Like hotel. Swimming pool in the middle of the house. You can bring 200 people to swim in a living room. And just in a swimming pool you have 20 doors, 10 in each side. Half a day I'm putting mezuzot around the swimming pool. They have like a... And I asked the woman, you only have 3 little kids, you really need this house? No. So why you bought it? The price of a smaller house and the price of this house is the same. So why don't we buy a big one? Nobody thinks about the damage it's going to make to the kids. A kid that grew up in such a house can ever become a chacham, a tzaddik? I'm willing to put my life on the line that in the history of this world, okay, you know what? I take my words back. I have to be careful, it's my life, you know. So I'm willing to put my life on the line that in this generation, every kid that grew up in a mansion has no chance to be a chacham. No chance. You destroy him before he's born. Why? You have to send him to yeshiva. You cannot live in these standards. The fanciest yeshiva, it's still Harlem compared to his house. How is he gonna survive there? He cannot fit in a society over there. I mean, he comes from different place. He cannot. So what does he do in yeshiva? Play in his BlackBerry, play in his iPad, go out, call, go shopping, eat lunch. His father dreaming that his son is learning. One time I said a guy on a shidduch with a beautiful girl, a teacher from Brooklyn, tzadeket and could be Miss Universe. She was so pretty, that girl, he could be Miss Universe, her beauty. And I set him up with a guy, but I checked first to what yeshivot he went. He is the son of a very, very rich Jew, one of the richest in the world. Apparently I met the father and he asked me, please find a shidduch for my son. I thought that they match, him and her. Well, you know, it looks okay, but I checked his record. They gave me all the yeshivot that the guy went, the best yeshivot in the world. I didn't investigate further. I say, even a monkey goes to this yeshivot, he knows Shas. A monkey. I set them up on the shidduch. The next day, a girl called me up. I learned a lot from that phone call. Told me, you're not embarrassed of yourself, Rabbi? I said, what happened? He set me up with this Am Haaretz. Am Haaretz? What do you mean Am Haaretz? I sit with him 2 hours in a restaurant. He couldn't say one word of Torah. I'm speaking Torah. He's like a mute, mumbling few things about business, about real estate. Doesn't know one word of Torah, nothing. Halachot, I saw he doesn't know. I say to myself, what do you mean? He went to the best yeshiva. Sure. He was watching television in his room. What was he doing in yeshiva? You understand? Let's not be fakers anymore. It's enough. Enough with this faking life. HaKadosh Baruch Hu doesn't care about all this nonsense. Only one thing he cares. You're close to me. You have emunah. You are a simple person. You humbled. You love every Jew. You helping other. You care for other. You have $10 million cash in your account and you can sit with the boys, play on a rag. Or you're a big shot. Nobody can talk when you talk. What are you? Are you a Jew or are you a fake? That's the question. Be'ezrat Hashem will have the zchut not to be fake. If we improve a little bit after this lecture, the zchut of Mishpachat Masri, all the beracha. Thank you for coming and good night.